Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, February 8th, 2021. So this will have covered the week of February 1st through 7th of 2021. Now, I will admit this was not really my most productive week ever overall. I mean, I was getting back to work and everything, but it was definitely successful in another way, which we will get to in just a moment. But I am definitely glad to be back at work and back in a normal routine and stuff. I'm just glad that COVID doesn't seem to have any lingering severe stuff, at least for me. I mean, I would say I'm at like 90% on taste and smell, and I'm still like kind of nasally with a cold or something. They're not really, just like a little bit of sinus stuff, but that always happens this time of year. So thankfully, none of the lingering stuff is still there, so I'm very happy about that. Also, new PlayStation Plus games, as you can see here, Control and Concrete Genie, so I will be playing those at some point. Control, I definitely will be playing at some point. Concrete Genie, not anytime soon, because you need a VR to be able to do the DLC trophies, which I still think is kind of stupid, but it is unfortunately a thing. Also, we're continuing on with that playthrough of Fallout 4 on my weekend streams, Friday and Saturday streams, which has been a lot of fun so far, though the game is definitely more difficult than I remember, or I was just never good at it to begin with, which is also certainly a possibility. So, with that being said, obviously I didn't have any reason to play Destiny 2 this week, though I have logged in a couple times because I'm just trying to fix the trophy guide I wrote a long time ago. And since it is the start of a new month, make sure you log into GTA 5 so you can get your free millionth dollar. I've been seeing like a picture, I guess it's a meme or something going around where it's actually like a crab holding a $1 bill, and it's me millionth dollar. I don't know why I just thought of that there. Anyway, I made progress on 3 games this week. Overcooked 2 was already done as of last week, I believe. Let me check that. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, Overcooked 2 was done. So I made progress on 3 games this week. Really, no platinums, obviously, not a whole lot of overall progress, but 2 of the games were the 2 versions of HIQ Ace Unlimited, and I actually own HIQ Ace. I'm gonna probably do that this week. I don't know why I held off so long on doing it. I think I was just being really, really lazy. So HIQ Ace Unlimited, it is a free puzzle game, so it's free. And that's the reason why I did it twice. I would not have done a European stack anymore. I wouldn't have purchased a new European version of a game. But this game is 100% free. So honestly, why not? And honestly, it's not that bad of a game. It's a relaxing little jigsaw puzzle game. So the the 100% for both versions of the game, as you can see here, is identical. I did the North American version first, and it took me longer to do the North American version because I was just sort of going a little bit more slowly through it. But to get the 100%, first you're going to have to complete some arcade mode levels. So you have to complete an easy arcade level in under 60 seconds, a medium arcade level in under 150 seconds, which is 2.5 minutes, and any hard arcade level in under 450 seconds, which is 6.5 minutes. The hard levels have a little over 100 pieces, but the nice thing about the game, well, one nice thing is that one piece will always be glowing somewhere on the map, or somewhere on the puzzle, not on the map, but on the puzzle. And you can just find the piece from the 5 or 6 that are on top of the screen at any given time. I think there's 6 on top of the screen at any time. Just find the piece you need and put it there. And of course, if you get like corner pieces or outer border pieces, you can do it that way. The arcade levels only have 6 different puzzles, and it's those same 6 puzzles for each of the 3 difficulty levels, so there's not a lot of variety. Although I think there are a lot of like DLCs you can buy that have other puzzles if you're really that into this game for any reason. But none of these trophies are particularly hard because of that, and because of the power-up, in that once you have placed a few pieces within a certain amount of time, you can hit triangle, and it'll fill in 1, 3, or 5 pieces for free. So that's the easiest way to get these 3 trophies. You're going to want to do that because it's going to speed up the process quite a bit. But I think these trophies might actually be glitched in a good way, in that, at least on the North American version, I'm almost positive that in the North American version, I know I got this trophy when the timer registered over 60 seconds. It was like 70-something, but it's still unlocked. And this one, I think it was close to 3 minutes on my first time at it, and I still got it. So, actually, can we see it in this? Does it actually show here? Oh, no, wait, that's the European version. I did the European version really fast. Okay, hold on just a second here. Yeah, you see that? The trophy unlocked at 1 minute and 6 seconds. So I think that these trophies are actually glitched in a good way. Okay, no, I did do that one in time. Okay, so that's interesting. I did that one in time, and I did this one in time. And I did them all on time in the other version. So it looks like the 60-second one is actually glitched. So that's really weird. But I think it could be something to do with the fact that the trophy list is slightly different for this game versus the original HIQAs, because I think it's the exact same game, but maybe with a couple more features. So yeah, that trophy is glitched in a good way, it seems, or perhaps something like when the pieces go out from doing the solvent from the power-up thing, maybe that doesn't count against you, I don't know. But, I mean, it's really easy. Then you have 2 other trophies here for fitting a total of 1,000 pieces and using a total of 100 power-ups. For this, I would say the easiest thing to do is just replay any of the 6 hard puzzles and just keep playing them over and over again. By the time that you have completed the arcade levels, provided that you get them all first try, you'll be at like, I think 150 to 200 pieces, somewhere under 200 pieces, so you'll have to solve another 8 or 9 of the hard difficulty puzzles, and then just constantly use power-ups throughout it, so it's just a little bit of a grind, but obviously not much of one. I mean, it's a very easy 100%. There's not really much more to say about it. It's a nice, relaxing little puzzle game, and again, it's free, so can't really complain. I mean, it's free. Once again, you can't complain about free stuff, usually. But I did both versions of that game, and the other game I worked on, you're seeing it sitting right there, 99% on Call of Duty World War II. I am just so close at this point. So I had already done the first 2 DLCs last week, so I was working on these other 2 DLCs. So we will talk about Shadow War first, because it is 100% complete. Shadow War is the quickest, easiest, and probably the best of the 4 DLCs. It's a pretty unique map. The Raven weapons are awesome. They're extremely overpowered. But the trophies for it are definitely a little bit easier. You get this trophy just for entering the Lost City of Thule, which is the very first objective on the map, so basically a freebie right there. Unlocking the Uberspringen is pretty easy. That's the Pack-a-Punch. You just have to travel through the 3 teleports on this map, which are these Thulean transports. So that's actually pretty easy, and I mean, I got both of those a long time ago in like a solo game, just messing around with the map. So then you have this trophy, which is a little more annoying. You have to go through the Thulean transport with each type of zombie in a single match, and there's like 5 or 6 zombie types on this map. There's the bomber, I think the Wustlings on it, the bomber, the weird white zombie thing, the regular zombie, and the pests. So the good thing about this trophy is when one person in the lobby gets it, when one person in the lobby does everything, everyone gets the trophy. So that makes this trophy a lot easier. You don't have to do it separately for each player. This one requires you to have, I believe it's the flail, the upgraded flail, because it gives you a sort of a teleporting ability, and it just requires you to throw the flail from the upper area down to the lower area with the giant blood pool and the invisible bridge from the Easter egg. So it's pretty easy once you have it. Then you have to survive the trials of each of the 4 ravens, which is a major part of the Easter egg, is doing all these trials and finding all the items for the notebook through them. The trials themselves are rather easy, but getting into the actual battles or just getting into the trials can take quite a bit of time. It's a little complicated. It's nowhere near as bad as, Tortured Path or Shadowed Throne. And I mean, overall, the Easter egg on this map is rather easy, and you can complete the Easter egg in under 2 hours, and you'll get at least a few of the trophies along the way. If you're doing everything solo, then you'll get all the trial trophies in that one playthrough, which would get you like 6 or 7 of the trophies in a single game with no problem. Because yeah, you'd end up with this one, the 4 trials, and this one all in one game, so you'd only be missing about 3 more trophies. You'd want to go for this one in the same game, though, the Weapons Lord trophy, because 100 kills with each Raven weapon, it's not that difficult, but it is definitely a bit of a grind, because you have the Scythe, the Shield, the Flail, which is awful, and the Hammer. And really, everything but the flail is pretty easy to get 100 kills with. You just have to manually keep track of it, though, because the game obviously doesn't keep track of it. There's no trophy tracking or anything, plus it all has to be done. All 400 kills have to be done in a single game. But overall, the trials aren't anything too difficult, and especially if you're getting carried through the Easter egg the way I was, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. But in all honesty, this is probably by far the easiest DLC to do solo, because it's not that hard of a map. It's not a horribly complicated Easter egg overall, so it's definitely one of the more doable ones if you're trying to play through it solo. As for defeating the Ancient Evil, this is the Easter egg trophy, and the final boss, the boss would be pretty difficult, but there's a bit of an exploit you can use with like frontline, shell shock, and your wonder melee weapons. If you just do it in a very specific way, there's a way to beat him in like 30 seconds if you know what you're doing. So I would highly recommend looking into how to do that. I just followed whatever the instructions were from the guys I was playing with. But overall, this is definitely the easiest DLC. It's like a 3 out of 10 in difficulty, especially if you're getting carried through a lot of it, and it can be done in under 5 hours. So it's noticeably shorter than the other 3 DLCs, because this one, a lot of the trophies aren't terrible. They just take an absolutely ridiculous amount of time, because everything to do with the Easter egg on this map, this Easter egg is like 2.5 hours long, even in a group that knows what they're doing, so it's kind of ridiculous. This one isn't quite as long, but the miscellaneous trophies are really grindy and arguably worse. But now we get to United Front. This DLC is not fun, at least to me, and to most players don't seem to enjoy it. It's not all that difficult once you start leveling up and sort of learning how to play all the maps, but God, is it a grind. It's boring. It's just not really that fun, because this DLC is different. It's 3 separate, basically smaller challenge-type maps. And to get all the trophies, you're going to need to escape a total of 25 to 27 times. And I will get to that with our last trophy here in a second. But 100 objective waves is fairly easy. You can get up to 5 per game, provided you escape. The Sword of Barbarossa, this is the Easter egg, and actually in this game, in this DLC, it's probably the easiest one, because you only have to complete the Easter egg on the final map. If you do it in a custom match, so go into a custom match and just play the final map, which is this Beneath the Ice, and you can do the Easter egg right there, and it's a rather short Easter egg. There's not a whole lot of steps to it, so I definitely recommend doing it that way. You have to escape from each of the 3 maps. Will get you 3 trophies just for getting out your first time, which is really not too difficult overall once you sort of learn how to play. I will say, learn to love the M1 Carbine and the SVT. Those are 2 of the best weapons in the game when pack-a-punched, especially if you have the double damage blitz, like the doubled weapons damage blitz, because those weapons are very good. They do a lot of damage per shot, and they're both full auto. I personally prefer the M1 Carbine because the magazine size is a lot larger. But, you know, if it's up to you guys, you might like the SBT better. I think the SBT actually does a little more damage per shot. So you have to escape from all 3 maps, which is, again, it's not really all that difficult once you sort of learn how to play. And also, the more you level up, the more ability, well, not really abilities, but the more you level up, because this mode has a different leveling system. It's this Bureau ranking right here, which is the next to last trophy that you're going to get in the DLC. You have to reach level 50 of it. With this, the more levels you go up, the more damage you do just normally. So some of these trophies are meant to be done later on once you're a pretty high level, because reaching level 50 does take a while, but you'll probably get it before you finish all the other trophies. So now there's also a bunch of miscellaneous trophies around here. So we talked about those 2. We'll talk about this one last because it's the last one you're going to get. You have to defeat the Guardian solo. This is the boss of the final map, and this is a tough trophy because the boss is able to regenerate his health. So you really have to beat him quickly. You're going to need either Shell Shock or, what's the other one? Free Fire. Either one can have its advantages. And you're going to need something like the M1 Carbine or the SVT Pack-a-Punched, and probably the 1911's Pack-a-Punched is a good idea as well because they're explosive, but that's up to you. Having Jack in the Box is also pretty important, and you just have to lay into him the second you start firing because he will run away and go heal himself. And when I beat him solo, it was close. I beat him with like a little under 10 seconds left after not thinking I was going to be successful. So you got to be pretty careful with that. You got to be, ready for it. It's definitely a bit of a tough trophy. Then finding and shooting Klaus, I believe he only appears on the third map, but it's still not too difficult. I mean, that one, there was something like this in almost every DLC, I think except for the last one. And then finally, you have the hardest co-op trophy of the map, which is to escape from every map without using any blitzes, aka perks. The first map is rather easy overall, just because the map itself is pretty easy and the boss is in the middle on difficulty. The second map is the hardest in terms of the map's design and layout and everything, because it's so small and it's so just sort of skinny and narrow in a lot of places. But thankfully, the boss on the second map is actually very easy. He's by far the easiest of the three. The final map is the one that was causing a lot of problems here, but there is a little bit of an exploit for this one. What you want to do is you want to do the Easter egg on whatever run you're going for the every map without the blitz. You want to do the Easter egg on this final map because it will give you all the blitzes for free, but that actually does not void the trophy. So I highly recommend doing it that way, because then you can still have your blitzes to fight the final boss. Now, funny thing is, we were going to lose, and I wonder, is it going to show the time on this, how much time we had left? No, it shows escape, dang it. I was hoping it was going to show what we had left for the boss fight, because we got to the boss fight and we were doing well at first, but someone in the group didn't really know what they were doing and kept screwing up our strategy. So it looked for sure that we were going to lose, but then the game glitched. And for one time ever, it glitched in a good way. The boss was like trying to do his healing animation, but was stuck in the entrance of that central area where he heals at. So he wasn't healing, but he was completely stuck in place. So we were able to kill him in the final 30 seconds. We got absurdly lucky with that. I can't believe that actually happened. But that boss fight is known for being quite buggy. I've seen a lot of videos out there. There are quite a few videos where he glitches out in a similar way and just doesn't heal or doesn't move. So it seems to be a pretty common thing. Now finally, the only trophy I have left is to collect 25 engineered parts. You get one engineered part every time you beat a boss. So effectively what you're going to want to do is farm the first level over and over and over and over again. And I mean, you can escape in 20 to 30 minutes once you get good at the game, and in all honesty, you can escape solo without a whole lot of problems unless you get just really unlucky with your objective waves. The problem is, though, 25 is a lot, and you're not going to be anywhere near that by the time you've finished all the other trophies, most likely. And to make matters even worse, this trophy is slightly glitched because there were a couple of weapons from DLCs that were never released, but the engineered parts for them were released, because Sledgehammer is a fantastic developer. So because of that, many players have to collect as many as 27 engineered parts. For some people it unlocks at 25, some it unlocks at 26, and some it unlocks at 27. So you might have to do a little bit more. I'm currently at 24. I would have had this trophy done on Sunday, but it was Super Bowl. I was hanging at my girlfriend's place. We were all doing like a watch party for it, eating a lot of good food, so that was fun. But anyway, that's all that's left. It's just a few more engineered parts. I will easily have this 100% done by the end of the week unless something goes catastrophically wrong. So let's sync up our trophies here. Level 714, 58%, 19,962 total trophies, 487 platinums, 2,814 golds, 5,337 silvers, 11,324 bronzes. So plans for the upcoming week. I'm probably going to do the normal version of HIQ Ace because I've been putting it off for way too long. I've just been lazy about it. And I will certainly be finishing Call of Duty World War II, which will get another game out of my backlog list. So with that, the current plan still for February is I still got to play Fallout 76 a little bit and try out that DLC, the new content. But my main focus would be on The Division and Destiny 1, especially The Division because, that is an older game with hardly any player base left that I would like to get done. I mean, hopefully I can get it done sooner rather than later. I don't know how many parts I've managed to escape with, how many, whatever the items were you get, where you have to escape 17 times in survival. I don't know how many I've managed to get away with so far, so I might be closer than I think, or I might be really far away. I know I've made it out at least a few times, though. So that's the current plan for February. Then in March, I'm thinking about going back to Uncharted 4. April, Resident Evil 7 and Black Ops 3. May, GTA 5. And the rest of the year, we go finally back to all the other games that are incomplete on the list. Still got to start The Division 2 at some point because I already own it. And maybe I'll still consider doing like Battlefield 4 and 5 someday. But can anyone tell me, I might have asked this last time, but I'm not sure, but with Battlefield 5, is it obtainable again yet? I don't even want to think about purchasing it until it's 100% known to still be obtainable and not going to be screwed up again. So we'll see. I mean, just let me know on that one. Also, when it comes to GameFly, I am getting an interesting game this week that, yeah, it's one of those games where you look at the person's trophy list and you realize they played it purely for trophies. And it's on GameFly, and it's the second game in a series, and it also has a North American and a European stack. So, that should be fun. Maybe I'll even play it on stream. We'll have to see. But for now, that's going to be it for this video, guys. We're also getting very close to 20,000 trophies. I don't know what game I'm going to do my 20,000th trophy in. There's a very good chance it might be like either The Division or Destiny or something like that, but we'll have to see. So otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, favorite, share, comment. Let me know what you guys have been working on. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. We should be releasing the start of a new cooking series this week. You should be starting to see that this week because I've already recorded the first 2 episodes of it, and I'm liking the way it's going so far. So I will see you guys later this week for more content.